During the 18th century, Congregationalists and Presbyterians were already worshipping together, as Darlington Independents, in a yard off Northgate. In 1806 a split took place, with the Congregationalists moving to a room in Union Street, which became Bethel Chapel, in 1812. When this became inadequate, a new Gothic-style church was built, and housed the congregation until 1975. The Presbyterian element met in the Mechanics' Institute, in the town centre, until granted the status and privileges of a congregation. Land in Northgate was purchased for £750, and in 1867 the foundation stone was laid for St George's Church, built for £4,000. It was this building, which became, in 1975, the Northgate United Reformed Church, following the union of Congregational and Presbyterian churches in 1972. Northgate United Reformed Church is a Grade II listed building, constructed of locally quarried sandstone from nearby Houghton Bank. Of Gothic style, with a spire 36 metres tall, it is a local landmark. The steeple has a representation of the parable of the burning bush on it. The Latin inscription, Nec tamen consumabata, neither was it consumed, talks of how the bush is burning without being burnt. The carved heads of 16th century Scottish Protestant reformers John Calvin and John Knox peer down upon all entering or leaving the church. Quite where the dragon comes in is a bit of a mystery. The church was originally dedicated to St. George, so perhaps it is the fire-breathing monster that he vanquished. A major church refurbishment project was carried out over 10 weeks in 2017. Our main doors were replaced, and now have glazed panels which allow the passing public to see through to the sanctuary. The glass panels also incorporate the church logo. As you step through the new blue doors, from Northgate, you enter the spacious vestibule. The iron hinges from the old wooden doors were incorporated in the refreshed decor of the vestibule. Once we had modernized, it provided new purpose for this area. It is now used as a gathering space after services, and also as a room for holding small meetings. It houses a kitchen, a servery, a cloakroom, and various notice boards. There is access to the lower ground floor rooms and hall, access to the sanctuary, and the stairs leading to the balcony. These stairs lead up to the bell tower and to the balcony. The area is illuminated by a glorious stained glass window. Seating, in the original pews, is available for those who wish to make use of it. From here you enjoy uninterrupted views of the interior of the church. Looking down into the sanctuary area, there is clear sight of the pulpit, the communion table, and the baptismal font. All of these are backdropped by the organ screen and pipework. And so, we return downstairs, to the vestibule, where we will now enter the sanctuary, through the glass doors. As we enter the sanctuary, to our left, there is our memorial room. This room houses a reminder of our rich heritage, in the form of memorial plaques, from both St. George's and the Union Street churches. This room also provides us with a quiet place, and a retreat, suitable for private prayer, or counseling. At the opposite side of the sanctuary is our creche room. The creche is available before, during, and after the service, for our younger members to feel at home. A window looks out onto the main worship area, and the church sound system can be relayed into the room, if desired. The Lindisfarne Scriptorium banner, was presented to Northgate United Reformed Church by the Salvation Army, as a thank you for the years of shared fellowship in this building. Strong links are still maintained between the two congregations. The two rear windows on either side of the sanctuary are of stained glass. These were brought from the Congregational Church building in Union Street when the two churches united in 1972 to form Northgate United Reformed Church. The tradition of the Presbyterian Church was to have plain glass windows. Various banners hang on the walls of the church, visually depicting stories of the Bible, themes of faith, or our links with other fellowships. In particular those of our pastorate, and our links with the Salvation Army. The banners and tapestries are the work of craft groups, one of which meets regularly at Northgate. A quilted wall hanging, made up of 30 individual panels, depicts the life of our church. It was created in March 2019 to celebrate 150 years of worship in the building, with each panel having been crafted by one of the various organizations within the church. The audiovisual system has two separate, large-screen televisions. These are entirely mobile, and can be easily maneuvered around the sanctuary as required. The CD and DVD players, the sound system, and remote camera operations are manned during services at a dedicated control center near the front of the dais. In 1874, a harmonium was hired for £7, 7 shillings a year. A big step for a church which in those days regarded musical accompaniment to a service as an adornment too far. To accompany the harmonium, a choir was formed, and £3, 9 shillings was splashed out on cushions for the lady choir members. The male singers obviously had tougher bottoms. In 1891, a referendum was held to ask if the harmonium should be upgraded to an organ. When the closely fought result was in favour, J.J. Binns of Leeds installed a £600 pipe organ in 1894. The original organ remains as a prominent feature of the church. It has been professionally restored and retains its original mechanisms. The sound of the organ is incredible, with members of the Church Organists Guild regularly seeking the privilege of playing it. At the time of creating this video tour, the sanctuary area is set up to adhere to COVID restrictions for worship, using the sturdy blue plastic chairs. Socially distanced, with the more comfortable, upholstered chairs being stored around the perimeter. The sanctuary has capacity for 200 people. This open space is used for services, communion in the round, messy church, cafe church, weddings, funerals, flower festivals, church fairs, fashion shows, concerts, coffee mornings and more. We leave the sanctuary now to visit the minister's vestry. The vestry is immediately off the dais and provides a space for pre-service preparation, private study, or small meetings. This room is also where newlyweds will sign the register. From another door in the minister's vestry, you enter the choir vestry. This room has its own access door to the sanctuary dais and the choir area. From the choir vestry there are also stairs leading down to the lower level rooms of the church. A lift is available from the sanctuary, which will bring you directly down to the lower church area. The hall provides us with an ample space for mingling after the service, and for holding fellowship meetings, coffee mornings, quizzes, clubs, and other activities. There is a separate sound system. And there is also Wi-Fi internet access available. Off the hall are smaller meeting rooms. The Frank Sorden Room. The Blue Room. And the Cupboard Room. The rooms are used by Junior Church during the morning service and also serve as meeting rooms during the week. A stairway leads you back up to the vestibule, and we will leave the building by the main blue doors, out onto Northgate. Walking down the side of the church on Chestnut Street, we can then turn into John Dobbin Road. Here you will find the rear entrance to the lower levels of the church building. Toilet facilities are on your left as you enter the building. Straight ahead of you is the kitchen area for the hall. There is a serving hatch which opens directly into the hall area. We hope you have enjoyed sharing this virtual tour of our church with us. During these difficult times of COVID restriction, we are making use of social media, as well as phone and internet connectivity, to support our church family and maintain close contact with everyone. For a more comprehensive history and insight into our church's past and Darlington's ever-changing society, we would point you towards a book published by Harry Bunting, a member of our Northgate congregation for nearly 50 years. Through the Blue Doors takes us from the very first minister, Reverend Johnman, who was attracted to Darlington because it offered plenty of hard work, through to our newest member's description of coming through the big blue doors for the very first time. Thank you for watching.